Всем привет! Today I decided to tell you about some experimental thing. The experimental, I mean the topic is experimental. I wanted to tell you about the dream I had, and I know that English writer Somerset Maugham, I hope that I pronounce his name correct in English, he said that if you want to become the most boring person in the world, start telling people your dreams. And on the one hand, I can understand it. On the other hand, the dream was so impressive for me that I want to try to retell it because it really was like a movie, and I was really impressed and inspired, and I think I could even write it down and make a story, but I don't want, so I don't want to waste time, so I just want to retell it. The thing is that the dream was about a boy. I was this boy. I was look like POV, so I saw everything with his eyes. I don't know his name, but he was in the age of 10, 12 years old, so somewhere in between child and teenager. And the beginning of the dream was that he disappointed in the world, in the world's imperfection, that everything can go wrong in our world. Something bad can happen with anyone every time. You never 100% feel secured from fails, from everything. And he felt like that he would love not to have things like that. So I don't know how he came to this conclusion. Maybe some bad stuff happened to him, some small bad things, like it usually happens in the movies, in the beginning of the movies. And then I started something like a typical fantasy movie, typical fantasy plot about person who, for some reason, goes to the other universe, to the other world, and this boy, I don't remember how, but he appeared to the other world, which is like a perfect world, like a doll world from Dollhouse, but not like a Barbie land, for example, because Barbie land is about something about fashion, beauty, and this world, like a Dollhouse, was more like if you watched Stuart Little, the Littles, the family of Littles, their house, it was so nice, so perfect. The Mrs. Little, this wonderful housewife who cooked stuff, her house was so clean, she was so kind, looked so well. Mr. Little, he went to work in his wonderful suit and brought money to the family. So George had such wonderful toys. I really, in this movie, I loved the everyday life of Littles more than the main plot of the movie. So the boy came to such kind of world, and to the family, let's call them, I don't know, Brown. They didn't have name in my dream, but let's give them a name to make it easier. Brown is typical last name for such kind of family. They were wife, husband, and they had 8 kids. If I'm not mistaken, 4 daughters and 4 sons. Their oldest son was, his name was Torsten, it's a German name, as I remember. He was like 17, and then there were 4 girls, like 16, then maybe 15, 14, and with the one with in the age of the boy. And they had names like dolls. Like girl could name her dolls. For example, the oldest daughter was Isabella. The next one was Jasmine. The next one was Dolphinia or something from Dolphin, I mean. Then Diana. Diana is not really typical for doll, but anyway. And there also were 3 boys. They were aged from 10 to 6 years old. I don't remember their names, that's not so important. They were more or less similar. For example, the girls, they looked like really like princess. They were with the blonde curly hair, big blue eyes. Their hair always were very well dressed, and they had such wonderful dresses, not like princess dresses, but we would wear these dresses on some celebrations, and they wore these dresses every day, even if they spent all the day at home. But the family was super nice, super kind, and they met this boy, and he told that he is new in this world, and they said, "Oh, darling, of course, come to our family. We are so happy, and we'll give you the room." And they gave him the best room in their house. Yeah, they had eight kids, but their family was quite wealthy. Of course, each kid had their own room, and the boy had the best room because they had a house and they had a tower which was built to this house, and he lived in the very the highest floor, which was like penthouse, I guess. They said, "We don't need this room. It was Torsten's room, our oldest son, but he don't like it any longer. You can live there, just one room in the very top of the tower with the wonderful view." And it was cool, and he felt so fascinated with that. It was so wonderful. He wanted to stay there, and firstly he loved everything, absolutely everything, because everything in the world was predictable, was perfect, and there was nothing bad, even in small things. Everything all the time was wonderful, perfect, clean, good, and that's it. But after some time, he started getting tired of this because it wasn't anything new there. Anything unpredictable never happened. You always knew that everything's gonna be okay, and because of this, life lost its taste, maybe, because you never could be surprised with anything. For example, there were some examples. For example, with the food. This Mrs. Brown, she always cooked perfectly because she couldn't fail with her dish, and not even fail. The dish couldn't be plain. It always was so wonderful and so tasty. And of course, firstly, it was brilliant for him, but then later, when you always eat super tasty and brilliant food, you stop feeling it like super tasty. It becoming usual, and after having meals only from super wonderful and tasty food, he stopped feeling it interesting. The food lost its taste. The other thing was, for example, that when they visited some places, for example, some amusement parks, some markets, or something like that, and when there was some kind of, I don't know how to call it, lottery, or when you shoot from the gun in the aim, and you can win some prize. There you would win 100% because everything is good every time. So you knew that you will win. And because you always know this, that lose interests. It's not interesting for you any longer. And the boy understood that it's not interesting for him, and the life becoming super pale and super gray. So he decided that he wants to come back to his home. Somehow it was possible. And he understood that he loved this family. He loves this family, Brown's family, so much that he wants to take them with him to his world, because he said, "My world is super cool. You need to see it. It's so interesting." And for some reason, Browns agreed. I don't remember why. There was a reason why, but they actually felt absolutely okay in this world. They didn't see any problem with absence of surprises, of something unusual, interesting. They were absolutely okay. When they win the prizes in this shooting from the gun, they behaved and felt like it was a surprise for them. But for some reason, they said, "Yes, we can't stay here any longer. We go with you." They came back to the boy's world in some interesting way. He just found some bus, like the buses which goes from one city to the others, sorry. And he just phoned and said, "Hello, there are 11 people. We want to buy tickets." And they said, "Okay." And boy even had some money. I don't know how, but he had some money. And he said, I can pay for all of you. That's not a problem. So the Browns decided to move completely, not just within this world. They wanted to move. They sold their house, sold the furniture, took their stuff, and they got to this bus and started traveling to the boy's world. And I remember that I could see with boy's eyes, I could see the driver's hand. So the boy was sitting behind the driver, and I saw his black hairy arm. I mean, not hand, arm. And in the end of the trip, when they wanted to go out, pay and go out, the driver said, no, you have to pay more. For example, not 20,000, but 200,000, because there are 11 of you. It's actually too much. And the boy said, how? Why? I don't have so much money. I wanted this sum, and you say the sum which is 10 times bigger. I can't pay for this. And when he said that, and the Browns understood that something is wrong, the mother of the family, Mrs. Browns, she just stood, went to the driver and paid to him. She wanted to pay for him, but even she didn't have so much money. So all the kids came to him and started checking their pockets, and they saved. They collected the sum and gave to the bus driver. So they showed their attitude to the boy, that they paid without any questions, and also they showed that they can't live in this world actually, because they can't protect their rights, their borders, because person just named the price 10 times higher than it was mentioned before, and they just, okay, we will help you, we will pay you. We don't ask why actually. we are not going to do this. No, we just pay without any questions. So they went out of the bus in the boy's world nearby his house, and there was such an interesting moment when boy saw the grass in his world, and the grass was so imperfect and so natural and so beautiful, because each each piece of grass, this one thing, was different. It was hanged or looked in a different way, and in the dollhouse world, the grass was like plastic. It was real, not plastic, but it looked like plastic. So the sunshine never played on the grass. There was no water drops on this grass. So if you ever played Sims, I mean old Sims, very, very old, it was like that. There's just green short grass, blue sky, and something like this. And this moment was really strong, because he looked at this grass and he thought how beautiful the grass is. And because actually the beauty of the nature is in imperfection, and he felt it that way. And then he looked back on the Browns family and saw that they look a bit, I don't know, worried or something, a bit unhappy. But he thought maybe they are tired after the road, or maybe they need time to get accustomed to this world. And they went to boy's home, and when they almost entered the home, he looked back again on the Browns family and saw that they look very, very ill and very bad. And he said, what happened? What's wrong with you? And they said, sorry, we feel that we are too porcelain, too vivid, too weak for this world, and we can't live here, we can't bear it. And they started actually disappearing, just vanish into the air. And they, during this, they told him, but we are very happy that we met you. You showed us so many new good things. We had so many emotions with you, and we are really very happy. And after that, they disappeared, not in that world, in their own. They just disappeared. And that was very dramatic, actually, very touching. And that was very strong dream, I can tell you. Actually, it could felt quite horrible, because they actually like died. 10 people whom this boy really loved. But there was some reason why they really wanted to see this world, to check it. They didn't want to stay in that world, and they wanted to try. Even if it ended like this, they wanted to do this. But I don't remember the reason, so it was reasonable. And that's why the ending worked like it must work. So that was the dream, actually. And when I woke up, I was super impressed. It really felt like a movie. And I think that was answer to me, because I feel sometimes sad about this imperfection of the world, of imperfection of my life, and that's interesting how my brain answered me. So I hope that that was interesting and informative for you. Not informative, but at least just interesting. Hope someone watched this and wasn't bored like Somerset Maugham said. So thank you for watching, and пока-пока.